Guys, today I want to speak with you about the principle of gender from Hermetic principles. So, in order to create anything in life, you have to balance masculine energy and feminine energy. Basically, masculine energy is action. You act, you think, you plan, right? Feminine energy is the energy that you work from inside, like from the inside, the beliefs, the system, the knowledge, the prayers. And so you combine both internal intuition, your resolution. When you only act without emotions, this is not going to get you any result. Just like walking in a street. If you walk randomly and arbitrarily just passing streets, you're not going to get anywhere. So even if you have something in, like, even if you're building something, you need to fuel it with your feelings, belief, prayers, intuition, right? You attract on an energy level, and on a physical level you implement masculinity. Everyone has masculine and feminine traits, and people need to balance it, in my opinion. So there is this 80-20 principle. If you are not familiar with this is magic. This basically means that 20% of your body controls 80% of your body, right? So your head and the nervous system controls the rest of your body. 20% of your customer give you 80% of the revenue. In my case, I'm an English teacher, so my top 20% customers are parents. They pay for kids, they pay for themselves, so they give me 80% revenue. 20% of students in the class are top performers, the rest is average. 20% of people in any country are wealthy, the rest is. So it's basically in everything, guys. 80-20 principle. 80% of hard work gets you only 20% of money. So you can think about it in any way. So, as a female, I think, in my opinion, females are F, right? So they have to have 80% emotions and 20% logic. This is females. Males, the opposite. They have 80%. This is, guys, on average. It could be 60 to 40. It could be 65 to 35. It could be 51-49. I'm just giving you an example that something has to be more. 80-20. So I'm speaking of averages. Averages. Now you may not be the average, but I'm just giving you like the average. So average male has 80% masculinity, 20% femininity. That's why you see men not open emotionally, closed. They think that if they open up, it's weakness because they're just 20% emotional. Females have emotions more, less. So people need to learn to balance these emotions and these things. What did I want to tell you from the get-go is, guys, before you implement this beautiful and amazing technique in your life. So this also brings me to the next topic, is when people have imbalances. For example, if a female has 80% masculinity and 20% femininity, this is not good. This is when a female becomes unattractive. I believe that everything should things should prosper in their original habitat, in the way they are. So if, for example, if he is a man, he is. I'm not saying he's supposed to be masculine and do that. Not every man is meant to be that way. Not every female is meant to be that way. But I'm just trying to let you know that some people have traumas. Some people had a difficult childhood, and that's why there can be imbalances. And when you see, for example, a male manipulates, becomes a selfish person, doesn't care about others' feelings, this is too much of a masculinity. This means that they have 100% or 99%, 90% masculinity. This is when they are basically out of touch with their feelings. This is not good. You can understand that they are this like that. When people have too much feminine energy without logic, they can be they can behave on a irrational, like they behave irrationally. They can become drama queens too much. They can have this victim mindset where there is always a villain. Um, so there is so like they live in the circle of victim, villain, and then a prosecutor. So they need someone's help. So it's like a drama, all the drama, and like the past relationship. Oh, that guy was bad. They're always victims. For example, I'm just letting you know. Or they have too much inclusivity. They don't use their brain to filter and sift people into their lives. They think that everyone should be the same. Like a communist party. Like everyone is the same, and like stuff like that. And this one and this guy think and this one, like a capitalist, thinks only like everything is for me, stuff like that. So you can see where people have discrepancies, or not discrepancies, where people where there is imbalance, and you can definitely understand where did people go to the extremes. This is a very important principle of a hermetic principle. Now, the next thing that I want to tell you is, before you try to implement, you'll tell me, okay, that's all beautiful and nice, but how do I actually implement it in my life? Well, basically, before you change your life, before you decide to do anything, so you start with the basics. So number one, you need to sleep well. You need to eat well. So you need to sleep well. You need to eat healthy food. You also need to exercise. You need to exercise. So, and you need to meditate. Meditate, execute. So, and this also, like, so we also have 80-20 principle. So you would execute 80% of your time, meditate, exercise, and eat 20% of your time. Sleep is the night, so it's not considered to be day. So I'm speaking about daytime. Daytime, 80% execution, 20% taking care of your health. Because if you don't exercise, so exercising builds your muscle, like your muscular energy. Execution, food, your overall avatar, your overall health. If you have good health, you can have good influence in this world. Meditate is the feminine work. I don't like to call it feminine or masculine. It's basically you, right? But it's like internal work, external work. So when you meditate, you work on an energetic level, you attract because you are powerful. So you use and you execute 80%. But of course, you know what you do, and you focus single-handedly on one thing. So for example, if you want to have a plan to do whatever, to earn more money, so you basically study the topic, study the subject, and go and execute. This is a different topic, guys, if you're interested in that. But execution basically comes in when you already know what you want to attain. But even if you don't know, you still execute. You do what you think is right, and you will be led to the right path. But this also applies 80-20 principle. So if you don't do these things correct, if you don't sleep, if you don't eat enough or good, if you don't exercise, if you don't meditate, how do you think that you would execute? Some people may execute, but in order to feel good, in order to feel better, like, you have to do these things. If you do these things and you execute, it's going to be easier for you to execute and to basically, keep your word to yourself and keep going. But if you don't execute, like, but if you don't do these things, like if you don't sleep enough, if you don't eat enough, if you don't exercise, your brain will be clogged. You will have a fizzy, like, you will really, like, you will find it difficult to focus. So this is not a joke.